New year, new lineup. If you need ideas for your journals and planners, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 2025 lineup, how I'm going to be using each of these journals to hopefully inspire you and give you ideas. I always love seeing how other people use their lineups. It helps me adjust and change things up when I feel like I need a little bit of inspiration. So hopefully this video will help you. If you're new here, hi, I'm Seppi. I share with you the tools and strategies that you need to help you discover what you truly want in life and how to make it sustainable through small, simple steps that feel manageable and aligned with who you are. And one of the tools that helps me every single day and has helped me in my journey has been my journals and planners, which is why I love sharing these videos with you. So if you're ready, let's get into it. Starting off strong with my B6 journal that I will be using for my daily journaling. Every single morning, I like to sit down and write whatever is on my mind, set intentions for the day, write down any dreams that I might have had. I like this size more than the A5 for daily journaling because it's the perfect size that it makes it feel easy and not overwhelming for me to do a journal entry because the page is not as wide and the page is not as long. So even just doing a half page like I did a couple of days ago, it just doesn't feel as overwhelming to pull this journal out, and I just love this size. It's always a good size for me to be able to take it on the go when I go to coffee shops to journal. And one thing that I started doing last year, which I love, this is inspired by my friend over at Notably Emily, is to create a cover page inspired by the color of the journal. So I created this cover page this year, which honestly I really love how it turned out. Very purple pastel-y, very light. Another thing that I started doing is that every single month I'm going to pick one fountain pen ink and one sticker theme, and I'm going to stick to it throughout the month. That way, I'm going through my stationery and actually making use of it. I'm also going through my fountain pen ink and making use of it. And at the same time, I don't like having to change my fountain pen ink. I find it a little bit of a tedious task, but doing it once a month is not as bad. And then by the time it's 30 days have passed or a month has passed, I get excited to change colors and to see what other color that I want to use, so it doesn't feel as overwhelming than doing it every single week or whatever else. So I love how this is turning out, and this is something I think I'm going to continue doing, using little stickers here and there to decorate in a very simple way, very easy way. I usually add stickers for like 6-7 pages, and then as time progresses, if I'm journaling more, then I'll add more stickers. So January I did light pink. I did these pastel stamp stickers that my sister got me from a stationery store in Houston that are absolutely beautiful. I honestly wanted to save them and not use them. I'm like, you know what? This is the year where I actually enjoy my stuff without like feeling like I have to put so much pressure on making it count and making the best use of it. It is making best use of it. I'm using this every day in my journal, and it brings me so much joy to come into my journal every day. February, I moved into this deeper color, and I used, again, stickers that my sister got me, these fine line flower stickers, and I stuck a few of them here and there. And I just think it adds a small little touch of cuteness and aesthetic journaling pages and just brings me joy. So I really enjoy that a lot. And the last thing that I do that I also really enjoy in my daily journal that I'm going to continue is using a date stamp. This is something that I debated getting because I don't like having too much stationery, because then you end up, it dries out, you don't use it, etc. So I sat on the idea of buying a date stamp for a long time, and I'm so happy that I bought it because I use it a lot. I use it every single day in my daily journal, and it's a fun little way to add the date, create separation between the journal entries, and just add a little fun little touch for me. So that was a worthwhile purchase, and it's not too expensive either. So I'm very happy with the B6 journal for B6 size for my daily journaling. It's the perfect size. Love it. I started using this size last year, if you've been following me since then, and I'm going to continue using this size, I think, for my daily journal, and I love it a lot. Now let's move on to my bullet journal. This is the A5 medium dot grid hardcover journal from Leuchtturm, and this is the same brand as my daily journal, and as you can see, the same color as well. I wanted to get the purple daily journal, but they didn't have it in stock, and I was just itching to get started, so I just got the pink one to match. For size difference, in case you didn't know, this is the B6, this is the A5, which is why I like the B6 for daily journaling, because it's just the right size. It's not too big, it's not too small. Like I said, it doesn't make it overwhelming to sit down in my journal to do my daily journaling. That's why I love it. But the A5 bullet journal, this bullet journal is my creative journal combined with my goals. Every single year, I sit down, set my goals for the year using my feeling-based inspired goal setting process. I create a vision board, get organized for the year ahead, create spreads, and prepare. And then every single month, I make creative spreads and do my memories, etc. So I'll show you a little bit more of the setup after. If you watch my last video from my videos from last year, I decided to retire my travels notebook, and instead I decided that I'll put everything into this journal, whether I do creative spreads for coffee shops that I go to or creative spreads for little activities and fun memories that I have that I want to keep. I'm just going to put everything in here. So this is just a better way to streamline all my journals and have everything in one. So this journal is for my goals, it's for my memories, it's for my creativity, all combined in one, and it makes it a little bit less overwhelming and to have a bit less journals being spread out in different things. I also feel like in the past I struggled to finish the A5 journal just because of its size. It is over 200 pages. It's 250 pages, and last year I had, I think, like 20 pages left and I wasn't able to finish it. So I really want to be able to finish this journal. That's why putting everything, all the creativity into one journal, I think makes sense for me. So just to give you a quick run through of the journal, I made, like I did for my daily journal, a creative spread. Although it's not inspired by the pink, I wanted to do something a little bit different. These are the things that inspired me. So this is what I did for the cover page. Then we have the index where I write down the different pages. That way it's easy for, although I don't really use this, I still want to fill it up just because. I did a little mind map of my 2025 with some of the things that I want to focus on. I wrote down my vision. So this is, again, based on my feelings-based goal setting process. I first write a vision, connect to all the emotions and everything that I want to experience in a year to make it a lot more meaningful and for me to be able to connect to my goals from a deeper level. So I wrote down a vision, and when I read it, I just get excited about it. This is everything that I want to create and experience and feel this year. I created a vision board using my Canon IV2 mini printer, which has sticker sheets. And in one sheet, I can make 4 of these, and then I can make it even smaller. So I'm just really happy with how this turned out with some affirmations. I added some little applique details, some washi tape, just a few little simple details to make it a lot more aesthetic. I do have a video where I share with you how to make your journals and planners more aesthetic. I shared 10 simple tips. So if you want to watch that video to get inspired, you can watch that as well. I haven't done my goals done because I've done it somewhere else. So I just have to transcribe it and I haven't done it yet. But basically I write down just everything that I want to achieve, whether I do it this year or not. It's just a nice way to get my imagination and my brain going. So this is what this page is going to be. And I did these tabs here. The main part related to my goals. We have the dump of my goals, a brain dump of all the habits that I'd like to practice, that I every single month reassess, adjust as I move forward. And then I decided that I'm going to set goals in every 3 months, set big goals every 3 months. So I have my goals for Q1, so January to March, for my health and my life. And then every single quarter, I'm going to review how things are going and then set goals for the next quarter. Monthly tracker of things like progressing for my business, whether we're talking about YouTube subscribers, revenue for my YouTube, etc. I just wanted to have something here just to see progress. This page, I don't know if I should put it now, but I am going to anyway. I always tend to miscalculate the number of columns that I need. So I made 12 columns, but I needed 13 to have this part. And then I missed November. So as you can see here, it goes September, October, November. So that really annoyed me a lot. So I'm not crazy about how this page is, and I don't really like looking at it, but here we are. milestones of just more meaningful, different goals that I want to achieve. So yes, numerics, and yes, losing weight, and yes, you know, reaching a certain level of subscribers on YouTube. Yes, those are fun and important too. But just as important are these are less tangible goals that are still important to measure and I think are still relevant to write down. So how many books did I read? Having a 5-day streak on walking 10,000 steps, doing masterclass painting, doing I've been into watercoloring and I want to just do it a lot more for fun. So I want to track how many times have I been sitting down and making the time to do my watercoloring. So these are also the more important, meaningful goals that I want to focus on as well. And then to celebrate, you know, these milestones, what are the things that I'm going to do to celebrate? These don't have to be things that you buy or things that you spend money on. It's even like cooking a fun meal or having a little pampering session at home. I really want to be a lot more intentional with celebrating the milestones because we tend to just pass by them and not think about them and just let's move on to the next goal. And I really want to be a lot more mindful of the different steps and the different milestones that I am able to pass. Tracking the books that I read. I have a goal of reading, I think, 30 books this year. Last year, I only read 25, so I want to push myself to read a lot more. So just writing down the books that I finish reading and rating them. Although I do track them on Goodreads, I think this is still a fun way to see it visually. I did the same thing for coffee shops. I like trying new coffee shops as much as possible because there's so many here where I live. So just tracking the new coffee shops that I go to has been really fun as well. Affirmations that I want to be mindful of. So every single month I will look at these to see what affirmation I'm going to try to keep at the top of mind for the month ahead. Or if I'm having a hard day, I can come back to this page to look at the affirmations that I have for myself. This is a emotion/anxiety tracker that my therapist taught me how to do because I've been struggling with kind of understanding what I'm feeling and what's going on and why I've been feeling anxious. And this helps kind of break it down into understanding what are the anxious thoughts that you're having, what are the feelings and sensations in your body to kind of try and start to pay attention to how my body's reacting, rating it from 0 to 10. How much is it affecting your day-to-day life? Is it paralyzing? Is it bothersome, etc., or not? And what did I do for coping strategy in response? And this can help you make you a little bit more aware of, are you just distracting yourself or are you actually feeling your emotions? So this has been an interesting tool. I need to fill it up a bit more, but I think so far I'm proud that I've already have 4 entries. So that's really great. And then every month I do a cover page of the month ahead, whatever inspires me, I create a page. I'm not crazy about how this turned out, but whatever, that's just how it goes. And then I do a kind of like a scrapbook vibe of memories from the month. I print little pictures, write what it was, and for me, this is a really beautiful way to slow down time, to be grateful for the things that I have, and encapsulates kind of, you know, I might be hard on myself that I'm not where I want to be, but then looking at these memories, no, I am creating a beautiful life for myself despite everything else, despite, you know, feeling like I'm struggling with anxiety, etc. This is my way to get evidence that no, you are creating and experiencing a beautiful life, and let's focus on the good things. This is my February spread, kept it very simple, put little hearts all over here and a cute little quote about self-love. Then I did a spread on just this one day where I spent with my boyfriend, where we went to the museum. There was an exhibit on witches, which was super interesting to see some of these artifacts in real life. So I did this spread and I really like how it turned out. So this is the part of the creativity that I want to bring in, of if I want to make a creative spread, whether it's with just a quote, whether it's for a specific day and have ephemera, like this is the pamphlet from the event, and these are the stickers that we had to wear and the tickets, etc. Just keeping those and doing creative spreads. So that's what I have so far. And then the good memories from February. On Sunday, I'm going to sit down and update it for this week. And that's what we have for my bullet journal. So if you also want to get your hands on any Leuchtturm products, you can use code HAPPY20 to get 20% off at checkout. This is for the Canadian website specifically. I will leave the information of all the journals and planners that I use in the description box below as well. That way you can refer to it and see what my recommendations are and what I'm showing you here. Let's talk about my planner. The Hobonichi Cousin has quickly become my ride or die planner for many different reasons. I have separate videos on setting up my Hobonichi Cousin, how I use it as a functional planner. So if you want to watch those, you can. So I will try and limit how much I talk about my Hobonichi Cousin because I absolutely love it so much. This is hands down one of my favorite planners I've ever had. This is my third one. I don't envision myself being able to ever change, to be honest with you. So I use this as a functional planner. So this year I did something different and I added stickers, which is something I never do. If you notice, my bullet journal also has stickers at the back. I'm a lot more of a, how do I explain this? I like things to be a very specific way. So I like things to be very, I don't know, organized, OCD borderline. So me adding stickers feels so different than my style, and although at the beginning I didn't like it, I do love how it turned out. This is one of my favorite ones. I'd rather be with my cat. So anyway, this is the cover. Another fun random thing that I discovered when I had I had left my planner on my desk, which I always leave it on my desk, all organized, of course. I turned the light off of my office and then something caught my eye and I looked at my desk and I realized this sticker is glow in the dark. I'll try and get a shot of it maybe and add it as a B-roll if I'm able to. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but the latte and the stars it's glow in the dark. When it happened, I immediately called my sister because she's the one that got it for me. She lives in Houston. She got it at a coffee shop there that we had gone to together. It's just like a fun little thing. I really loved it a lot and just like made me so happy. I think it's really cute. So in the end, I'm happy with how it turned out, and it's fun to kind of step out of my comfort zone of how I usually set things up. So, okay, enough about my love of my Hobonichi Cousin. How I'm using it, it's a functional planner. At the front, I have a little bit of a, came with the Hobonichi waist that my sister gave, but it's a little bit of a tab that I can slide things in. I leave a few stickers, some stamps for when I send letters to my sister, and this little to-do list thing, sticky, from Muji that I have. I have yearly, monthly, weekly, and daily. So I'm going to try and do this relatively quickly. You can watch more detailed videos of my Hobonichi Cousin in a different video. Long story short, this year at a glance is my habits tracker and my reminder of my habits. I put it on a little card so I can remind myself of the details of what my morning and evening routine is. My monthly spreads are for appointments, birthdays, tracking my cycle, and just being aware of how the month ahead is going to look. Then I have my weekly spreads, same thing. I write in all the different things that are going on so I can adjust my schedule, my work, and everything else based on how busy or not busy the week is. And then we have the daily spreads. At the front, I have my life admin tasks, all the admin tasks that we know that we have to get done, but we never get done. So I have it at the beginning of every month. I have a page for that, which is very helpful to refer back to when I'm doing my weekly planning to see if there's anything that I can check off my life admin to-do list. And then we have the daily pages. So the daily pages I use mostly for planning, but I also use it sometimes for brain dumps. For example, on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't necessarily need a detailed plan, but sometimes I just have like a little brain dump or little reminders of some of the habits that help me. Then on days where I'm actually using it as a planner, I have my self-care habits that I try to adjust sometimes during the day. If there's something a bit more specific that I need to be doing, I write it out. Business things that I have to get done for my business during the day, and then general life to-do list. Sometimes I like to track protein and fiber intake because I'm trying to focus on that for my health. And then splitting the day into morning, afternoon, evening. That way I can just kind of compartmentalize my brain of, for now, morning time, let's just focus on these tasks, and then I can figure out the rest later. So that's kind of how I use my daily pages in my Hobonichi Cousin. I also sometimes just do like a brain dump. This was for my planning, kind of for my different planners and my goals, etc. I also stick to one theme every single month. So January was purple, February is pink. I do weekly recaps sometimes as well, just like a quick little reflection of how the week went or the things that happened. So whatever it might be, the general formula is going to be the same with minor adjustments depending on my need. of that day. So I love how flexible I am with my planner, and it really suits my needs. But I think it's also goes to show, I think the pages and how flexible the pages are, you can adapt it to your needs. It's also a beautiful product. It's just a really overall helpful planner to have because you can adapt it to your needs, and many people use it in many different ways. So I think that's really always fun to see how different people use it. And at the end, I added just an life admin master list of all the things. If I think of something that I have to get done, I'll add it in here, but this is what I refer to when I create the one at the beginning of the month to try and make sure I stay on top of things in general. So whether it's like finances or the optometrist or whatever else. So this is the master list, and I can add anything that comes up throughout the year as well. And at the end of my Hobonichi cousin, I have this little guy, which is a pencil board, so it doesn't, so you can, when you write, it doesn't crease the page behind. I don't really use this, to be honest with you, but I still have it here. And then I have this little folder for little receipts that I have to like submit to insurance, for example, or whatever else. So I have this to keep it a little bit more organized. That way it's all very streamlined and all put together. So love my Hobonichi cousin. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been talking a lot about it. As you can see, definitely one of my favorite planners I've ever had. If you need help figuring out what planner will suit your needs, I do have a separate video. I walk you through some things to think about before buying a planner. So if you need a bit of help figuring out what planner to get, make sure to watch that video next. This was a new addition for me this year, and I thought about it for long and hard. I think I thought about this for almost a year and a half, whether to add another journal in my lineup, because let's be honest, if you watch my previous videos, I always feel like I have too many journals in my lineup and I didn't want to add something else. However, in the end, I decided to bite the bullet and I got the A6 5-year journal from Hobonichi, and I'm so happy that I did. I have been having so much fun with this, and honestly, I really enjoyed coming into this. I want to buy a cuter fabric cover, so if you have any recommendations, let me know, because I feel like it kind of looks, I don't know, not as cute as I want it to look. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. I decided to get the A6 because I figured if it's smaller, it will make it a lot more sustainable for me to be able to come in and do an entry. So if you don't know, this is a journal that's 5 years, so 2025 to 2029. Basically, every single day you'll have a space to write a journal entry, and on this side you have extra space to write whatever else that you want. That way, every single year when you write an entry, you can see where was I at last year? What was I thinking about? What was I worried about? What was just going on? Initially, I wasn't sure what I wanted to write in these entries. So I just started off and I was just writing general things, but then I decided I want this to be more, even though I have the good memories in here, I wanted to reflect a little bit more on the specific small good moments that I experienced. Again, this is a way to just cultivate more happiness and joy and just focus on the good things in my life. So yes, it's how I feel, but also just like the small moments of joy that I experienced during that day. So the one thing about this journal is that the lines are quite small, and also because it's such a thick journal, writing on this side can be a little hard. So what I have to do is to put a journal under it to have a little bit of more support, which is fine, but that's just one thing that, you know, be aware. And the other thing is, in terms of a fountain pen, the Tomoe River paper in the Hobonichi cousin is beautiful for fountain pens and gel pens and anything else. And I do find it's very enjoyable to write it with a fountain pen. However, the medium nib, I think, makes it, the lines are too small for a medium nib. So I do use a small nib, which is fine. And if ever there's more, I write on this side. But just be aware that you do have to write with a smaller nib. So I think like if you're using a gel pen, a 0.5 or smaller would be better. 0.7 I think will be too thick, and then your pages are going to look messy. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the same ink color for the whole year or switch it up. I'm not going to overthink it. For now, I've been using a purple color fountain pen color ink from Diamine, and I love how it looks. So for now, I'm going to continue until I get bored of it. I'm just not going to overthink it. So definitely happy that I have this little guy and it doesn't feel overwhelming. I actually really enjoy coming in because it takes me like 5 minutes to write something, and it's just, I'm really happy that I have it. So this doesn't need much of an explanation, but this is the journal that I use during or after my therapy sessions. It's where I do my homework. It's where I reflect right after therapy if anything comes up and I really want to make sure that I write down what I remembered. I also sometimes write a dream log if it would seem like a really intense dream, just so I can remember to potentially talk about it with my therapist. There's no specific format or anything for this journal or anything that I'm following. It's just the tool that I'm using to reflect and think about, to use during therapy sessions before and after. If you've seen my videos in the past of my monthly updates for my journals and planners, you know that I've always struggled with feeling like I have too many journals to keep up with. And even though I kind of have the same numbers, at this point I'm gonna have 6 journals this year to keep up with. Even though it might seem like a lot, I actually don't feel particularly overwhelmed with these journals or with this lineup. So I think that's really interesting to think that if you really think through your lineup of what you need, what you don't need, what you realistically can and can't use, I think you can come up with a system that makes sense for you and that works. And with time, you can just adjust. So I hope that this can help you give ideas on how you can use your different journals. At the same time, if you do want to think about your own system, about how to create a system, what journals to include, what not to include, I have a separate video where I walk you through some questions to help guide your thought process on what makes sense for you. But overall, I'm very excited by my lineup this year, and I honestly have not felt overwhelmed, and I'm a month and a half into it and I've really enjoyed all of it. My sister gave me this beautiful journal that I really wanted to use, but I wasn't sure how it was going to fit in my lineup. And then I decided that I will use it for taking notes when I'm learning. This year, I'm committed to making more time to learn about topics that interest me, whether it's things like personal growth or it's things like business or cooking or whatever else. I did also buy myself a subscription to Masterclass, and I've been doing the courses there. So this is the journal that I'm going to use to take notes, just because that's also how I learn better when I'm writing things down. And this is just another way to enhance my learning, make sure that I'm really learning the material. Even though I want to pare down my lineup, like I said, I don't feel pressured with this one because I don't intend on having it finished by the end of the year. This is just going to be an ongoing journal that I will continue using as I continue learning. So there's no pressure in finishing it this year. So this is a fun new addition because it's separate from everything else and it's focused on one thing, and that's learning. And I like having a dedicated journal to just that. That way I can flip back and just read my notes. If I remember something that I learned from the James Clear class on habits, then I can just refer back to it more easily. So I just really like having a dedicated journal to that. Let's talk about the extra journals that aren't quite part of my lineup, but I still wanted to mention just to show you, just to show you all of my journals. So this is the jot book that I got during the Hobonichi sale. It comes with 2 of them. My intention with this is to I leave it usually at the end of my planner, and it's kind of like my brain dump journal, where if I need to write a list and it's just overwhelming me, I can just write it out here and put down my thoughts in case I don't have space in my Hobonichi cousin daily pages, because I also use that for my brain dump, but this is like an extension of it in case I want to have something all together that I can refer back to a lot more easily. As you can see, I haven't used much of it, but I don't have any pressure that I have to finish this journal by the end of the year. I have a second one as well, which honestly I don't think that I'll finish this year either. So that's what this journal is. No pressure with that. I debated whether or not to show this journal as well, but I'm going to, for honesty, I'm going to show it. This is another brain dump journal. I used to have one and then I got rid of it because it was just too much. But then I realized that sometimes, because this is such a pretty journal, because the paper is so beautiful, I sometimes don't have the time or the energy to make a pretty brain dump. So then I have a journal for my ugly brain dumps. Yes, you may judge me because I realize how ridiculous this is. Sometimes I just want to jot down a schedule or like something quick and make it ugly, and I don't care. Also, this is a journal I've had for like 10 years. So I'm like, you know what? Might as well just finish it. And when I'm done, it's not going to waste. I'm using it for something and then I can just throw it in the recycling when it's done. So I'm able to justify it that way. I know it seems excessive to have this many journals, but like I said, a few of these are just like non-pressure. I just need to find a better way to organize these journals on my desk because I end up having like a pile that's really high on my desks. But anyways, so these are my excessive brain dump journals. So let's move on, and you may judge me if you want. Another journal that is not pressure, you might have seen this before. No pressure in finishing it this year, but I had bought this journal I think in Paris, and I just thought, just because it's cute, but I wanted to find a way to actually use it. So what I ended up doing is making a little cat journal. So I don't know if you've seen this before. I have shown it in videos before. It's basically a journal where I make little creative pages for my little cat, Jack. Although he's not really little, he's like 12 pounds. But anyways, I just wanted to have like a way to commemorate and to put down these cute little memories that I have with him. And that's the purpose of this journal. Creativity and dedicated to my love of Jack. That's all it is. And it's an easy win. I make a spread. It takes me like 10 minutes. And look how cute he is. But anyways, this is my Jack journal. No pressure. It's just really easy and just really fun and random and cute. But I really enjoyed it a lot. And I know it's very random, but I think it's really funny. Let me know what's in your lineup this year and what you're excited about. And if you want to create your own journal and planner system that is realistic and sustainable for you, make sure to watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.